Welcome to Bedroom Convos. On this week's episode, we have a very special guest by the name of Khwezi Madlala. She is a UCT alumni. She is currently doing something in digital marketing management. I think we'll get to talk about that so we can clear the air as to what she does. And she's also Miss World South Africa, former quarter-finalist, and we'll get to talk to her about that and her journey in that, and what are some of the things she would like to share with some of the people that want to become a part of the pageant. I don't know, maybe next year. So she'll be sharing her insights on that. How are you, Crazy?
Hi, Lesejo. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. So for people who are interested in knowing who Crazy is, in your own words, can you let us know who Crazy is, where Crazy is from?
Okay. I just want to firstly say thank you so much for having me on your podcast. Like, just as I was entering the chat room, or pressing the links to come have a conversation with you, I just remembered that I've actually never been on a podcast before. So yeah, I'm really I'm really excited to be here. Okay, so my name is Khwezi Madlala. Full name is Khwezi Logusa, which simply means bright morning star. Yeah, I'm a daughter to my amazing parents. I'm a sibling to my awesome big brother and my younger sister. As you had mentioned, I'm a UCT alumni. I hold a Bachelor of Social Science degree from the University of Cape Town, and my majors were politics and governance, industrial sociology, and social development. And I'm really passionate about people. I believe that my purpose in life is to be a blessing unto others and to, advocate for the human rights of those who are most marginalized. I'm currently furthering my education in marketing management. And yeah, that's crazy in a nutshell.
So that I just want to know. This is all of the questions that we had for you. Who came up with the name? Is it your father? Is it your mother?
So apparently it was my mom.
Okay.
So the story is there's this poet. I forget her name, but she's a very famous poet. It's a lady, and apparently she was on the radio this one time, and she was speaking about her son, and she mentioned that her son's name was Khwezi, and then my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, like that's a really beautiful name," and that's how I got like the name Khwezi. But like now that I'm older, and like I'm like living out my life and discovering my purpose and stuff, I realize how significant my name is. Because imagine, like, my name means bright morning star, right? And essentially I believe that my purpose is to be a light in the world. So yeah, my mom gave me the name.
It sounds like your mom is very involved in your life. Your parents, to say, like, they're very involved in your life. Is that the case?
Yes, they really are. They are very. I'm privileged and blessed to have parents supportive, and that just are involved in my life. I can't really say that I have like a void whereby I feel like my parents, were not there. They have definitely been there for me every step of the way, especially my mom. Like, she's like a pageant mom. And if you know anything about pageant moms, they are very supportive. They're like there with you every step of the way. Like, if I'm entering for something, she's there, like, with me, taking me to the tailor to get my dress made. She's the one sending out the vote. So I know, like, I don't take it for granted. It's really like it's a blessing. They really are. My parents, both my mom and my dad, are involved.
So I just want to find out from you. This is me again. I just want to find out from you, like, given the stats and given the stats of the high rate in GBV, like, is your dad overly protective of you?
Wow. My dad, he's not, I wouldn't say he's overly protective, right? But I would say he is a protective dad. Yeah, I think I'm my dad's like little angel. And to be quite honest, I think a lot of my personality is more similar to my dad. So yeah, I'm a daddy's girl, and I think he is protective, but not overly protective.
Yeah, no, it's good to know, because I know, but see, like, being a girl is not easy, especially where we stay in South Africa. There's a lot of crazy things that are happening to women and young women, you see, in our country. And I just wanted to find out from you about that. Hence, I asked the question. So I just want to ask you. This is like the second question. How do you incorporate self-care practice in your daily routine?
Ooh, I love that question so much because I'm a content creator, right? And one of my like focus is skincare. And for me, like, I link skincare with self-care and self-love, right? So, so how I implement self-care is that, like, I just take time for myself. And I usually do that, like, through skincare, like, in the morning. Like, I have a whole routine, literally. I have a whole routine, like a skincare routine. And for me, that's a big part of, like, self-care and taking time to, nourish my body and take some me time, focus on myself, and be in tune with the person within me, so like my spirit and my soul, and my mind.
Wow. Okay. No, I do hear that.
Yeah, and
so,
I mean, just to add other ways, sorry, like, I do read as part of self-care, and I exercise. I haven't been too consistent on the exercise, but in this new month of August, I'll definitely be exercising a lot more. So yeah.
That's nice, man. Like, do you have any book recommendations for us?
Yes. Okay, especially for the ladies.
Okay.
I definitely recommend Becoming by Michelle Obama. Yeah.
Nice book.
Got that. Yeah, I got that book. When did I get that book? In 2021. It was a gift. In 2021, and honestly, I think it's life changing, and especially if you're a woman. It draws on the power of being a woman, the power of being a leader in various spaces, and just being unapologetic about that, and the fact that life is a process and that you always are becoming. There's no one version of who you are, but there's different layers for you to tap into and unpack, and you shouldn't basically allow society to restrict who you could become. So yeah, I'd really recommend Becoming by Michelle Obama. Like, she's really amazing.
Oh, it's great. And like, when you were speaking, because I didn't finish the book. I didn't finish the book, but I definitely do have the book. So I wanted to ask you, like, since you did mention like Michelle Obama, and knowing that she's Zulu, and like how Zulu people respect the traditional gender role. And what's your take on that, around that? Are you an independent woman, or like the balance? Are you the balance type, or are you the Yebo Baba? Like, I just want to know, like, because it is there, and it's something we can't deny. I just want to hear your perspective around that.
Oh wow, that's a very interesting one. I am from KZN, and I am but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say like I'm a Yebo Baba. I do believe that like, I do believe that women are should be independent and should like stand on their own, without necessarily relying on a man. But I do believe that like each gender, like whether you're male or female, like there's a role for you to serve, and there's like a purpose for you to serve, and our differences aren't necessarily like this. It shouldn't be a bad thing, you know, like our strengths and weaknesses like shouldn't be a bad thing or a thing that causes like division or like trying to compete with one another. That like, okay, so yeah, I think, you know, everyone has a role to play. And for me personally, like as you mentioned, like I think I'm like one of those people who keep a balance. And yeah, I just allow my femininity to shine through, like no matter what. So
what happens. So this is me again. I don't know when we'll get to these questions, but you're a very interesting person. Yeah, I just have so much to ask, but I'll try and incorporate some of the questions that we have for you, you know. So like so we can clear it up for people there, because we do have an international audience. In your own words, can you please let us know what a Yebo Baba is? Because I just realized I didn't say with you what a Yebo Baba is. You know, to people. Yeah. Can you please let us know?
Okay. So I mean, a Yebo Baba would be, you know, a woman that's like highly submissive to their partner, male partner, if I could put it like that. And I guess like, yeah, it's just under their authority and under their leading. But you know, like the term usually isn't used very positively. I would say, you know, the term like usually has a bad connotation to it. Like I don't know, I don't get the term. But yeah, in essence, it's just a woman that's like dependent on a man and so forth.
Okay, I hear you. So like, do you see? So I take it your parents are both Zulu.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, I just want to ask this question: do you see yourself like also like taking the pet with like I'll take a Zulu man, and I won't take maybe a guy from Singapore? Like, do you see yourself marrying someone who's within or outside?
Oh no, I'm very open-minded. So you know, I think it's not necessarily about race or background or heritage, like ethnicity or like, you know, it's for me, it's more about like the connection you have with someone and obviously the love you have for someone. So I mean, love triumphs over everything. So it should like, you shouldn't be limited to, okay, like I'm just gonna look for a Zulu man just because I'm a Zulu woman. No. So yeah, for me, I'm very like open-minded when it comes to that.
No, so but like you guys, well, I can't say you guys, Zulu people, especially men, you know. And I've heard someone, I think it was a Big Zulu or someone, he was like, I think I'm the one who's supposed to bring the men, the love. I meant to say, I'm the one who's supposed to bring the love. And what the woman's role is to respect me. She doesn't have to love me, but she has to respect me, you know. So I think for me, I'm really interested in finding out from someone who is as young as yourself, you know, to see like to have your perspective around it, you know. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting, because he says the man has to bring love, the woman has to bring respect to the table, you know. And looking into like some of the relationships of people that are Zulu, I think one of the reasons why those relationships work, it's because maybe, I'm not sure, it's maybe because of that. And I'm just interested in finding out your perspective around that.
Okay. So essentially you said that like a man is looking to be loved and a woman is looking to, oh no, a woman is looking to be loved and a man is looking to be respected.
True.
I think that's not necessarily like a Zulu. It's not necessarily a Zulu stance on things. I think the Bible also says something similar to that, of which you know I I get. I think, men value, respect and being seen and heard. Everyone does. And women value love, and just being given that emotional security. So yeah, I think it just goes both ways. Everyone deserves respect. Everyone deserves love. So that would be my stance on it.
Okay. So for people who just joined us on the line, we have Khwezi Madlala. So we'll be asking here some of the questions that you had for her. So that Mark has compiled a lot of questions, but we haven't yet got to them. So I hope after this break we'll be able to ask some of those questions around it. So yeah. So for those who haven't followed us on our platform, that's _MH on every social media platform, and please don't forget to rate the show, follow us on every platform and every aggregator that you listen your podcast from, and that actually helps us with the algorithm and ranking higher on the weekly charts of podcasts around Africa. So after the break we'll be asking Khwezi more questions. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Backroom Convos with Lesego. For those of you who just joined us on the line, we have Khwezi. So if you missed the first segment, you can go on to iTunes, Spotify, or whichever aggregator you use to listen to your podcast from. You'll get the episode. We'll just put in the links in the description just to let you know when. So yeah, I think still on the same note of speaking about Zulu people and like trying to understand the culture around it and traditional gender roles. So I wanted to ask you, like, is there what's your stance on the LGBTQI plus community?
Okay. So my stance on it is that equality is really important, and that people's human rights should never be they should never be infringed upon, or they should never be restricted. Like, everyone has human rights, and I think a lot of the things that we do as a society towards the LGBTQI community is that we try and restrict their human rights. We try and suppress their voices. So yeah, my take on it would be, equality is important, and everyone has a place, in society to, be seen, heard. So yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to find out. Do you think the community is as pronounced in like the Zulu tribe, or what can I say, culture? Do you think it's as pronounced? Just say like the we have like more of like the LGBTQI people in our community.
As much as I'm Zulu, but I'm not really like a Zulu spokesperson. But
yeah, saying from what you see, because like now that I think about it, like I haven't seen a lot of gay people or like lesbians, or I haven't seen a lot from like Zulu people. I don't know if this is me being ignorant, but I haven't seen a lot, and I just wanna like try and find out, is it because of and being a Zulu, and like I just wanna understand that, I don't know if that makes any sense, So for someone who's that side and is exposed to the culture, and if is it as pronounced as it is, because Joburg it's happening,
Sorry, I don't know. I think the community is everywhere. It's in every tribe, in various cultures. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's lesser in the Zulu community. I actually, to be quite honest, I wouldn't even know. But I doubt. I think it's just you know, it's dependent on the person, and the person could be, you know, from any cultural background.
So like, so for some people that like are a part of the community, the LGBTQ community, what would you say? Like, because I do know for sure, like, there's also like, excuse me about that. There's also like concerns of mental wellness around it, and maybe those are like some. Do you think, would see like the issues that we don't address regarding the LGBTQI community might be a contributing factor to the high suicide or depression that we have in the country?
Yes, I think because we don't allow space for people to be, we don't allow space for people, you know, to embrace, you know, their own individual identities. And, you know, actually I like to equate it to like discrimination against Black people. You know, it's similar to discrimination and inequality in all its forms is the same, whether it's LGBT, it's for the LGBTQI plus community, whether it's racism, whether it's you know, gender inequality, you know, it's all the same. So yeah, in terms of mental wellness, I just say as a society we need to be more inclusive, and we need to, you know, listen to what people have to say, and we need to allow for people to be, and especially without like oppressing their human rights. So that would be my perspective on that.
Yeah, so like, okay, I just want to find out, like, do you think there's enough that's being put in place to make sure that people are well aware of the LGBTQI plus community? In order to, some of the initiatives you think maybe we should, as South Africa, need to implement as far as to celebrate the community?
I think it's not enough. I think what we're doing as a society is not enough. There's still a lot of stereotypes surrounding it. A lot of negativity around it. We're not as inclusive as we could be as a society, and we don't promote equality as, you know, we can as a society. So yeah, I just think we should allow for the community to educate us, you know, on the things that we need to be aware of. I know like a lot of people are very ignorant when it comes to, you know, the LGBTQI plus community, and, you know, I myself as well, I feel like I know very little about the community, and we just need to create those spaces where they're able to, you know, voice out their views and, you know, their concerns, and tell us how they think we as a society can do better, you know, because yeah, just like a bottom-up approach, like initiating a bottom-up approach to it. And a bottom-up approach is essentially when the people who are involved in whatever issue are the ones, you know, dictating how things should, you know, happen, and informing how things should happen. So that's what I think should happen with the LGBTQI plus community as well. They should, you know, be given the power to inform us and to guide us as to, you know, whatever they would like to inform us about, and how we what we should know about the community, and how we can better create a more equal and inclusive society for them and for everyone else.
No, I hear you. You know, I don't know, when I watched that documentary, were you able to look at the Matt Walsh documentary around the LGBTQI plus community?
No.
So I think he brings a very interesting perspective to the role. So I think maybe off air I'll just send you the link to that. I think the documentary was released for, was it for 24 hours on Twitter? I think it was for 24 hours. I'm not sure if it's still available, but I'll try and find the link and send you that so you can just take it and look at it and maybe see like his perspective on the LGBTQI plus community. I think it's a very interesting documentary, and I think what he's doing, he's starting a conversation around the community as a whole. And I don't get when people try to trump his perspective on the LGBTQI community, but he's also in a quest to like try and find out, okay, what is this? And for someone who's like me, who's met Walsh, how do I help? How to where do I go to enlighten myself of such? Understand? Because now there's all these people who come up with like different perspectives. There's no one place where you can go and say like, okay, this is the place I can go to like educate myself further as to like what the LGBTQI plus community is about. I think a part of like the marches that happened around the US, I'm not sure if I wasn't looking at the time frame, so there were marches that were happening around the United States, and I think given that the documentary was released around about like the same timeline as the march, it kind of like amplified people's perspective on like the LGBTQI plus community. And I think it was necessary that he does that, because he brings a different perspective to the table, you understand? Not to challenge what they stand for, but to better understand what it means. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think
as if this
no, I was gonna say, I think that the part about education is really important, on different societal issues or matters. Like, we just need to be informed. And we need to be informed, and we must never think that we have the authority to oppress people just because they have different viewpoints or ways of from societal norms. So and like, I think I definitely appreciate a link to that guy that you were telling me about. I think it would also like really add to my knowledge. And
okay, I'll definitely send that to you. And like, do you think Uguti, this is okay? Do you think Uguti, your parents would have been more loving or less loving if you were to tell them, Uguti? I'm not saying this is the situation, by the way. When you come out to them and say, Uguti, Mama, I'm a lesbian, or do you think they will take it well, or like they'll forever be like, you still have a child, we support you, you go and do that, without even educating themselves? Do you think your parents are in that phase, or like, are they more accepting of that?
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't know because I haven't been in a situation like that, so it's hard for me to say. But my parents are very supportive parents, and they're parents who are open-minded, and they're parents who are open to being educated about various, issues and societal issues. So I think it's something that they'd go through with me, although it's not happening to me. But I think just from the support they already give me, I think my parents will be supportive of every decision that I take that is good for my life and makes me happy.
I see you. This is another question that I had in mind for you, and it's like, do you think over to like parents, like the role of parents in the child's life, into making it in whatever they want to achieve in life is important, given that you come from a background that has both parents, and like how has that them being together influenced some of the things that you stand for today?
Wow, that's a beautiful question.
Thank you.
Yes, I think so. I think, having both your parents, and just having that support structure of people that are that close to you, supporting you, is very, very important, in terms of just you navigating life, the decisions that you take, and just knowing that you have people standing with you, people who are willing to be with you through the trials and tribulations, people who are willing to invest in you. So yes, I think it's really important, but also I know that I'm speaking from like a place of privilege, and I understand that not everybody has that, or not everybody has the privilege of having both parents.
Both parents, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, I think the success of a person lies from within. It's in your focus and your drive and what you want for the future. So as a person, if you don't have that support system, such as like both your parents being involved or supporting you, I do believe that we all have whatever we all have what we need within us, to be the greatest version of ourselves. And we don't necessarily need, people to, well, we need support, yes, but it's not to say that without certain people we will not get to the places that we're meant to get. So yeah, I just say, most importantly, it's what's within you and your drive and your focus and what you can achieve. But with the support of parents, I think that's just really important. Or even if it's not parents, a support system. You might not have parents, but like have people that you can lean on, have people that are by your corner. There's a quote that says that no man is an island. And it just goes to show that you can never be you can never reach your fullest potential and think that you will not need people along the way. You need people, and isolation isn't good. So yeah, that would be my view on that.
Just interesting. It's interesting, and I thank you for your answer. For people who just joined us on the line now, we have Khwezi Madlala. So we've been asking her questions for the last 32 minutes. So we were asking her more of the questions, and we'll try and incorporate some of the questions you asked us to ask her. So we'll try and on the last segment of the podcast, we'll try and answer those, get her to answer maybe 10 of those, and hopefully those are good questions that you guys have for her. Yeah, so after the break, we'll be taking more questions. Let's meet then. Welcome back to Back in Convos with Lisa. I'm on the line with Khwezi Madlala. She's from Pittsburgh, it's vacated, and we've been having it for the past 45 minutes, but now we are closing it off with some of the questions that you guys sent to us to ask her. So the first question is, how do you navigate? Okay, it's not that question. Can you share any personal experiences you've had? No, we did answer this. Let me try and filter off some of the questions that I already asked, because I think it's pointless for you to answer some of the questions that you already answered. How do you encourage other women to pursue their dreams and overcome suicidal boundaries?
Oh wow, that's another beautiful question. Thank you so much. I'm really passionate about women empowerment. I'm really passionate about women win, and creating spaces where women can support each other, and be the best versions of themselves. And recently I started my own Instagram platform. I created a page called Queendom_chat, and a queendom is basically, queens coming together to form a powerful community. And basically on that platform, I just, aim to educate, uplift, and inspire women. So that's just really something that I'm really passionate about. And also, having being a Miss World South Africa quarter-finalist, it's women were a big part of, the people that I was advocating for. So yeah, I think women are just, they're a marginalized group. They are an oppressed group, and we cannot empower them enough. Like, we just need to keep empowering women, every chance we get, supporting women, creating safe spaces for women to share their stories, giving them the resources for them to thrive in our society. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's just, finding ways to bring women together and to have their voices heard.
Okay, I hear you. This is like a follow-up question. Are there any specific projects or initiatives you've been involved in to support women empowerment or gender equality?
Yeah. So, there's nothing that there isn't like an organization I've partnered up with right now, but it is just through my Queendom_chats platform that I'm building up right now, which I hope it will become this formidable platform where we can even engage in real life, through conferences, have discuss the various issues that women face. But I think I've just always been a part of empowering projects and empowering opportunities and platforms. So just like for when I entered the Nebisk Influencer competition, it was a big woman empowerment initiative on the brand, and it was catered towards women, and it allowed me to connect with other women who have the same drive that I have, the same passions and interest points that I have. So yeah, I think I always affiliated myself with opportunities and brands that empower women, and now I'm just taking on the important role of establishing something of my own that can create tangible difference for women.
This is really great. All the best. So I think because as you were speaking, I got to read the next question, and I think with the answer you just gave now, it does kind of like answer the question that I have, but I'll ask it anyway. So the question goes as follows. Can you share any inspirational story from your journey that promotes the importance of women education and empowerment?
A story from my own journey. I can't. Okay, I
think the Nivea story.
Yeah, I'm starting to pick one, but I'm also thinking towards the Nivea story. I mean, that was like, for me, as a woman, a Black woman in South Africa, an opportunity, to be affiliated with a big brand such as, that one. And, it was really, it really played a big role in my own, journey, because it allowed me to tap into my potential and, to realize just the person that I can become, and realizing that while becoming that person, I can inspire people throughout the journey to also be ambitious and to follow their dreams. And with the Nebisk Influencer competition, they really invested a lot in us, education wise. We would have workshops, with big influencers, people that you look up to, the likes of Freedom Mabote, the likes of OKR, And you can imagine what that does for, you know, a young woman, seeing other women thriving in their spaces, making their own money, being independent, and just owning who they are. So for me, that was just really powerful. They even went as much as, you know, giving us the resources we need, you know, to thrive in the digital content creation space. They gave us laptops, they gave us phones, and they were paying us on top of that. So actually, they even gave us a job. So yeah, we're getting good money for that as well. So I think that's just one journey where I saw how when you invest in another woman, you really are just setting her up for success, and seeing how far I've come now and the confidence I have to enter competitions such Miss South Africa and Miss World South Africa, and just to, you know, also partner up with other brands along the way. It's just it's a really powerful story of just how when you invest in people, you just allow them to fly higher and higher.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I think last question, then we close things up. Is there any particular message or advice you'd like to share with aspiring pageant contestants and individuals looking to pursue higher education?
Okay. So the advice I'd share to anyone looking to, you know, enter into the pageant space, or you know, to gather up the courage to enter into a pageant space, I would just say, do it scared. You know, do it scared, and know your why. You know, don't just enter these platforms or spaces of opportunity just because, but have your why.
Yeah.
For example, like with World South Africa, like I knew what my why was. I knew who I was advocating for. I knew, you know, what my purpose was, and how my purpose interlinked with the platform. And yeah, just I think just do the inner work to find out what you have been called to do on this earth, and honor your calling, and just believe in yourself as well throughout the journey. So I just say, yeah, they have nothing to lose. They must just do it scared, but like do it while knowing why they are doing it. And then in terms of like furthering your education, education really is important. Expanding your knowledge is important. Like for example, I already have like a degree in social sciences and my various majors, but because I've realized like where my passion lies, which is more on the digital marketing side of things, I've taken it upon myself to actually, you know, further my education. So yeah, that's always you can never, like, there's no expiry dates for learning, you know, so don't limit yourself. If an opportunity avails itself for you to further your education or to gain more knowledge, just always go for it. And yeah, everything will work together for your good.
Man, thank you for taking the call and like joining us and sharing your story with a lot of people that listen to the podcast. You know, I think, you know, I'm very interested in seeing what you do in the future, and you know, it's really good that there's women like you out there, you know, and I think it's very inspiring, you know, for the young people that are listening, and like, yeah, these are the type of role models that we need in our society, you know. And yeah, I can't thank you enough, man. And I so wish that we can also like arrange together you on the live podcast where you can just come through, like, so people can see you. But we'll talk about that off air. Yeah, for people who just joined us now, it's the end of like the amazing segment with Khwezi Madlala. She's from Pietermaritzburg, KZN. And for those of you who haven't subscribed, followed, please go and do that so you can get the notification whenever the episode drops. And I appreciate you all. So, Khwezi, can you please drop your social media handle so people can follow you?
Yes. Well, before I drop my social media handles, I also just want to thank you. Thank you so much for, reaching out to me and for being consistent,
Yeah.
I know I can be very skeptical sometimes, and like I just like to guard myself. But I'm glad this happened, and I also learned a lot. And it allowed me to, connect with not only yourself, but with the audiences. So I'm just really grateful, and I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope you can become like our next MacG. Is like have like your own podcast network and just grow. You're doing great. You're doing really great. So to share about social media handles, you guys can catch me on Instagram at @KhweziLogusa_am. That's where I'm most active. And then I do also have a TikTok account. I'm not very active on Twitter. On TikTok, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
TikTok is KhweziLogusa. It's KhweziLogusa_. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm not really. I think Instagram is where you guys would really enjoy connecting with me the most.
Okay, thank you. For those of you who haven't followed us, it's _M_MH everywhere. So so the article will be coming out 2 days before the episode drops and day after. So go out and read and do that, so we can support our brother Mark and Israel on their browns, So thank you again. Thank you to you all. The segment of Breaking Condos, but let's cheers. Been asking you a question for the long, I think it's 3 minutes or so she was still answering some of the questions that I had for her. So Khwezi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
One of the things we were just speaking about now was the LGBTQI community, the Metwash documentary, and so I just wanna, because you did mention earlier on that you take more of like your dads or your daddy's girl. So I find, this is me, by the way, like you can just share I just want to get your perspective around this and try to figure out if you share the same as I do. So the question is, like, I find that people who grow up in art, like daddy's girls, they go into relationship looking for the version of their dads in a relationship, instead of like just appreciating the person for who they are, and like, especially if the dad is a good role model to you, like, is it the same thing with you, that
Yeah, well, I must say my dad has really like set the standard. Because he's a really phenomenal man. Like he's a great example for the kind of person that I'd want to be in a relationship with, or like a husband one day. So yeah, as a daddy's girl, no pressure to the guy I'll end up with, but I must say, like, my dad has really like set the standard high.
Yeah. No, I get you. So you do agree with what I'm saying to say it does influence the way you are selective.
Yeah, no, for sure. It cannot be. It cannot not. Sorry, it cannot not influence your perspective, because your dad is the first display of of a man, and you know how a man should treat you. And obviously, like, just by the way your dad is, or you know, the way he portrays himself, you obviously, like, it does influence you in a way. And if your dad has done a great job at that, then you know, sure, it shows you, like, it shows you the importance of seeking a quality man, or attracting a quality man, because he's been able to depict that for your life. Wow, you know. So yeah.
So do you think it's a good thing? Like, do you think it's a good thing for you to have that, from a lady's perspective, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, you know, my wish is that every woman would have a positive male role model. And luckily for me, my dad has been able to be a positive male role model. And a positive male role model allows for you to, you know, associate yourself or be in relationships with the right kind of men. So yeah, I think it's just really important to have a positive role model, such as, you know, a dad, so that you know what to look for and what to get yourself in, and not to get yourself in any toxic, you know, situations because of having not had a positive representation of what a male should be, or a man should be in your life.
So yeah, this is, you know, thank you for the answer. And I think this is a perspective that I hold to myself when it comes to, I think that is true. Not to say I've been in like that situation. I don't know anything about relationships. Like I haven't been dating for like the longest time, probably 8 years now. So, but I do see that, you know. So, but then I do think, Uti, and I just want to find out from you, like, this is my perspective. I think, Uti, like, some of the cases of GBV and the issues surrounding them, I think most importantly, it's because some of the women or the guys don't come from like good backgrounds, like they don't come from families with both parents, or like they come from a toxic background, you know. I think a part of those cases, it's because of that, you know, like people or like individuals who meet and they form a bond of some sort. They don't come from like, they come from broken backgrounds, and they come in like, I think people, like, this is my take on relationships. I think the person that you're in a relationship with, it's a reflection of who you are. Like, I can tell, okay, if you're in a relationship with this person, the wife is this type of person, you know, given that I can see when I look at you, I see your wife, I see your girlfriend, whatever that is, you understand? And I'm like, okay, it makes sense why these two are together, understand? And it's a representation. I think it's a representation of choice. You know? I think that, and I think with GPV, I also feel the same way. Well, like, because these people, like, they didn't have their role model they wish they had, and some of these choices that they make are the same choices that the mother would make, which is a toxic choice, because they never really had a good role model in their life, you know. And I think that's one of the reasons that we have a huge rate in like the GBV. And I think, like, because of like the single parents issue and like some of the issues surrounding that, I think somehow to kind of like change how we want these, like, the people that are in these situations, we have to start to look at the backgrounds and see, which is like, well, we can't change her situation with the man or whatever the case, but we can make sure that if she has a daughter there, the daughter is exposed to the right people, to the right role model, people who can influence her decisions in the right manner, you know. I think that it is very important to have, because now if we have someone who's like, that's the only way, even with generational curses, or people think generational curses is, I think if you can try and break the chain, and the only way you can break the chain is if you expose the young ones to to a different environment, which has like nothing to do with their past. I think that's the only way you can influence that person to be a great person or a great leader, however the case is. And having a great story, like saying like I don't come from a good background, so and so and so, but I found such and such and such, and I was able to take whatever he implemented in his life, and that's the reason I'm here as a man. And I said,
Yeah.
and I think a part of myself, a part of, like, this is me sharing to you, like, a part of the reason I haven't dated for so long is I was trying to figure that out, like, in my mind, like, I'm not dating and I don't want the person because I'm always busy, so I don't want a person who always think me being busy, it's me being with other girls, or I don't want the person, like, I've always thought, like, I always came from that perspective to say I don't want someone who will always say I'm dating or I'm doing shady stuff when I'm really working, and that's the reason I haven't been to say that I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm going to hurt the person because of what they think I'm doing, So, and I realized later on, no, but the concept is great, yes, but the perspective is wrong, and I'm like, oh, how about you change the fact that you don't want to this person who has insecurity to view that way? How about you change that to, like, the person that I will be dating will know I'm working at such and such, and they won't be bothered by some of these things that, like, the average woman is bothered by, like or like the phone, or like, I think that was the perspective that I had to have for me instead of that. But I realized, okay, now I can just switch, because the model is still the same. I can just switch from that and be like this person. And I'm like, I think that's one of the things that people need to figure out with themselves. What do they want out of relationship? Because some people are just dating for fun. What are you dating for? Are you dating to get married? Like, what's the purpose behind it? Like, I'm big on that, and I think a part of the things that we need to talk about as young people, it's that, because some of the people don't think about that, and later on you find there's a child involved. Now you can't pursue your dreams, and boom, and like, the person you chose is not the person you thought, like, the stories, only if you had taken a moment to, like, try and figure out who you are as a person, and you really see, even if you were to have the child, you wouldn't be stressed. I know, like, this person is the type of person, so even, like, bringing that gift child in the world, it's not as of a burden as it would with someone who's not the right person, you understand? Because now you understand the type of person this person is, and like, they'll make sure at the end of the day we are good, or like, I'll make sure that he is good, or vice versa. I think it's that, like, it's a reflection of how you see yourself. Like, that's how I see GBV, and like some of these things that I just spoke about. So I would really like us to take some of the questions that our guest had, our audience had for you.
Okay.
So I really thought, like, I have to share. I know, sometimes I get too much about these things, but it's I'm sorry if it was unnecessary. Like, I'm so sorry if I imposed, So yeah.
I just also, like, what she's saying is very true. Like that, like, your environment basically shapes you, and as a woman, let's say if as a woman, if what you saw as if your representation of a male role model was like a physically abusive father, or it's like, you're more likely to not know what's good for you in the long run, because all you saw in your environment was just that level of trauma, So yeah, I mean, with males as well, like, if you're like a male child and you saw your dad like really abusive to your mom, now you also want to mimic your father's violent behavior, your father's aggression, when you're older and when you enter into various relationships. So yeah, I think it's a really important issue to discuss.
Yeah, and like just to close it up, I just want to like quote. I was listening to Denzel the other time. I think I saw a clip of him. He was talking about like how how children are taking so much from, like, as far as like birth, how the father's trauma can be just passed through genetics to the child. And I was like, that's a very interesting thing. And I'm like, if you can try to heal as much as you can from your traumas prior to having a kid, that's a great thing, man. I mean, it really is. I think like it's for me, that is so wrong for someone, like for me to give much to my child the traumas that I've experienced as a kid to my child. I think it's very wrong. So I should find healing within myself before I get my better half, you know. So yeah. So yeah, I think we should take an ad break. Then we'll take five questions. By 11:15, we should be done, you know. So yeah, for those of you who just joined us on the line, we have Khwezi Madlala from Pietermaritzburg, KZN. So we've been having her for the last, I think, 45 minutes now. So we'll be chopping it off in the next 5 to 10 minutes when we come back from the ad break, and we just go into the questions that you had for her. Let's be there.
Awesome.